What you are about to hear is highly classified. Pay attention and listen at all times. And most importantly, remember, a rose is a rose by any other name. But a face covered in thorns? That's gotta hurt. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering Zone 4. And welcome back to the Zone. I'm Brant Fowler.
I'm John Wilson.
I'm Gordon Demowski.
And I'm Captain Ron Fortier, and welcome to Zone 4, episode 303. Brought to you this week by eharmony.com. Right, Brant and Gordon? And if you don't know what that means, pay attention to the outtakes.
That's very true, yeah. Just, Zone 4 at comic-related.com.
That's like a beach Brant.
Anyway, how you guys doing?
Walks on the beach and jazz.
I do like walks on the beach, actually. I love
and pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
Ooh. I feel the song coming on.
I love Little Baby Ducks, standard pickup trucks, and I can't remember the rest of the lyrics. Tom Hall song.
I like Little Baby Ducks, but it depends on the sauce.
Nice orange sauce there.
Yeah. A la Ronge.
Oh, man. Howard the Duck would not be happy with you right now.
Well, he's all quacked up anyway.
Yeah. Did you guys see they're doing WTD covers?
Covers for Howard the Duck?
Yeah, What the Duck is what it's...
What the Duck
What the Duck.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I was trying really hard not to post that.
I know, I ignored it as well. It's I don't know who was it, DC, that was doing the WTH a couple years ago, and then they decided not to do it because all the flack they got for it.
Yep.
I remember talking about that.
You can't make those little pseudo curse things without somebody getting up in arms about it.
Yeah. So I was kind of surprised that Marvel was doing it, but then you find out what it is, and you're like, oh, okay.
Well, Marvel.
Right.
Marvel always walks behind DC about 3 paces.
Now, what would be funny is if they threw in, since it's Disney, if they threw in Donald there too.
Oh yeah.
That would never happen.
Actually, an item just came over the wire that they're doing a 24 issue weekly series called Howard and Donald Quacking and Kicking Ass.
Nice. Actually, you remember that old cartoon someone did that had Gleek and the monkey from Space Ghost fighting?
I remember hearing
it was It was an old image that someone had drawn, not a cartoon, but
okay.
A picture. I could see someone doing a Howard and a Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, and don't we have a duck-related news item for later on in the podcast?
Do we? Yes, we do, actually.
Way to segue.
That is a nice segue, because Disney, we were speaking of Disney. We'll just go ahead and mention that right here before we get into everything else.
It's all a duck blur.
Yeah, it is.
It quacks me up.
They even might solve a mystery or rewrite history. I don't know. But Disney is relaunching DuckTales in 2017. Ooh. So, you don't like DuckTales?
Ooh, Ray.
No, I was just adding in the musical.
Oh,
the next part, DuckTales.
Ooh, yeah, gotcha. Sorry, I missed it.
I'd rather see the one come back, with the Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger. I'd rather see that come back than this, but
or Darkwing Duck. I mean, come on.
Darkwing Duck, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that would be the one you'd think you'd want to go for, because
it's way too dangerous.
Nice. He is the terror that flaps in the night, after all.
That's right.
But I like Tailspin too. That was one of my favorites.
That was a lot of fun too. Totally.
Cloud Kicker.
Yeah.
But I'm maybe this is the first step in all those, because that was the whole Disney block. It was those 4 shows.
Right.
All together, so I would love to see all 4 of them come back, honestly.
Yeah,
I remember when they launched that and how much fun that block was. They were really some good shows.
It was a blast.
It's really interesting how revered that particular block is of people at a certain age, because you'll ask people, and people kind of my age and a little older go, "Oh yeah, I love that. That was so cool." Or It's like, wow.
And the wild thing is, all those shows were reinventions of those characters.
Yeah,
Right.
real,
Exactly.
classic characters. They've been around since the 30s and 40s.
Right.
Oh yeah, but I mean, right? But then they were mixing him up with such cool other genres.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right? I mean, the whole thing with Darkwing Duck was this totally bizarre, play on pulp heroes of the 30s, which was hilarious. And Rescue Rangers was just, Indiana Jones and Company, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of fun.
And then DuckTales, you had time travel at times. You had magic
magic
lamps,
with Magica the spell. Yeah.
And your Robo-Duck and all that stuff.
There was a lot of creativity behind those shows, and hopefully seeing them come back would be great. For a whole new generation of kids.
I can't believe I called him Robo-Duck. Gizmo-Duck.
Yeah, Gizmo-Duck.
Wow. Shoot. But yeah, no, I totally agree. That'd be awesome. But we gotta wait till 2017 for DuckTales, so who knows when if those others come back, it'll be like 2020.
Well,
Who knows?
it gives us time to start a campaign, Brant.
There you go. I like it.
So hey, so I'm going back on the agenda here for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Comics Podcast Network plug.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
that was
welcome.
subtle.
way before we're lost in this show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We should mention, like you said, that we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us on comicspodcasts.com. Each episode that we post of Zone 4. And, that's the only show we have over there right now. But yeah, check it out. There's all kinds of other content over there as well. Why I Love Comics, which we were talking about before the show, that Ron was recently on, is over there too. So
yeah,
go check it out and listen to our show, and then listen to everybody else after. So
there you go. I like that. Don't forget Airship 27, the podcast.
Yeah. Once it gets to 10 episodes, I'll submit it to. That's their criteria. You have to have 10 episodes under your belt.
Right.
So.
Right. 2's airing this coming week. So hallelujah.
Yeah, and it was a great show. I got to say that. I sat in and listened to the recording, and it was a fantastic show. Another great episode, Ron.
Yeah, he actually did make a point of that.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Well, thank you. Brant, appreciate that greatly, okay? Again, Rob and I are really appreciative of the opportunity to do the show. Been very, very, very surprised by the reaction we've gotten on Facebook by, a lot of our friends and colleagues. And it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun to talk about, what we love. So again, that's what podcasts are all about. That's what Zone 4 is all about. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that's my pleasure. All right. So have you guys been keeping up on the TV stuffs? The shows
The
and
superheroes. I mean, Peggy Carter's all done, and I really didn't see that come to an end.
Yeah, I've actually still got 3 or 4 episodes of that to watch. We kind of let it stack up, and we were going to watch it, like binge it.
Okay. Well, no spoilers, Brant, but it wrapped up really. I liked how the last episode was written.
Nice.
And how they tied it all into the whole connection with Captain America and everything else. I thought it was emotionally a perfect, ending for that series. And of course, they left it, a little open-ended. There's some dangling plot threads there. Obviously, if she's going to be one of the key founders of S.H.I.E.L.D., then we only got a really tiny, small taste of that. I mean, she's still basically an agent proving herself. So I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that ABC and Marvel come back next year and give us another eight episodes.
They would be insane if they don't. It did so well.
And Brant, they actually did something that's the equivalent of a post-credit scene.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say anything because it's spoilers.
Uh-huh.
It helps. It really, without spoiling it, puts it into the broader universe.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very good scene. It was tied a lot of things together.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. Now Flash is on hiatus for a while, for a couple of weeks, right?
I know that upset me actually. I didn't know about that until I saw it on Tumblr.
I had forgotten about it until I was like last night. Oh, no Flash, and then I remembered. Yeah, it's March 17th is when it comes back.
And the same thing applies to Constantine, right? They haven't really made a decision on whether they're going to bring that back or not.
Right. Yeah, I'm still 10 episodes behind on that show.
Oh, I'm way behind on that.
Well, I got to tell you guys, and I'm going to throw a spoiler out here, but I have to do this if you haven't seen the episode.
I'll go for it.
But I absolutely love Constantine. and I want to say 2-3 episodes before the series wrapped, this 13-episode run, they had Felix Faust on the show.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, and I about dropped. All right. I mean, for those of you guys listening who aren't all that familiar with the DC universe or whatever, Felix Faust has been around since the Silver Age, when the new Justice League was first born. He's this awkward wannabe wizard, okay, who basically is more a danger to himself than he is anybody else, and was always this second-string B villain against the Justice League. And imagine my shock when in the middle of this whole story and all the bad things are happening, Constantine's like, oh, I know who's doing this. And he goes, he seeks him out. And the actor they got to play him, and I don't know the gentleman's name, but when you see the episode, you will recognize him. He's a well-known character actor who's been in 100 TV shows. He's got the freaking purple robe on, right? And Constantine goes, Felix Faust, I knew you were behind. I about fell out of my chair, guys. I was hollering and hooting and everything else. I absolutely love that. So, hey, they're picking up on the same threads. Do you guys remember the episode, one of the early episodes, 1 or 2, where they showed Dr. Fate's helmet in the background and stuff?
And the ibis stick.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, seeing Felix Faust, I mean, come on. Okay, I mean, that's about as pure a DC icon as you're going to get in a series. I really hope they give this some thought and they bring it back. I think Constantine's a really good show.
Yeah, there was rumors, I thought, that they might be moving to a different network because it's just not quite...
It's a sci-fi.
Yeah, because it's not quite resonating with the NBC audience, I think, or something.
Well, I mean, they had the block with what, Grimm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe it was a little too much back-to-back, or people, or, like, it's like the old Batman, Superman. I like this one better, I don't like that one better. But you know what, I agree with you, though. This would be, I think the way they did Constantine, produced it, and wrote it, would be perfect for sci-fi.
Yeah. I'm cool with that. Because what I did see, I think I watched the first 2 or 3. It was really good, and I really enjoyed it. I just never... all these other shows, there's so much to watch. I just got behind on certain things.
It's not ending. It's not ending.
It seemed like DC didn't do a lot of promotion behind Constantine.
Yeah, not a lot.
Like the CW, you can't do anything without seeing like an Arrow or a Flash promo. But NBC just They went overboard with that crappy Saturday Night Live 40th anniversary thing, but where was the love for Constantine? I mean, I can understand why they're handing it off to Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi is part of the same kind of corporate. They're owned by the same company that owns NBC, but it seems like NBC never really gave it the love.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed. Totally.
Which, I mean, with a show like Grimm, they totally promoted that thing. I mean, they were everywhere. I mean, not DC. I'm talking about NBC. NBC promoted the heck out of Grimm, so it's kind of surprising at least NBC didn't get behind it, promoting it more. But I don't know.
Anyways,
DC's too focused on their other network shows.
So is everybody caught up on Arrow?
I am.
No, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still in season 2 somewhere, John?
No,
okay.
Actually, no. I'm done with season 2, but I just didn't get to leap into season 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, okay. We really don't want to go there too much because I don't really want to give out spoilers. But there is a twist to the storyline this season that really surprised me after last episode.
It was. I mean, one thing I will say, John, Ra's al Ghul is a very heavy presence in this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen, and
but what
I knew.
Yeah, go ahead.
We were hanging out in China, essentially.
Yeah, in the flashbacks, yeah. But what happens, and what Ron's alluding to, and I'm not going to spoil it, what happens at the end of this latest episode with Ra's al Ghul and Arrow is just wow. I did not see that coming.
No, that came out of left field.
Yeah. What about you, Gordon?
I was surprised too.
Yeah.
I mean, Arrow's been, for me, it's the series has been. It started with a lot of swagger, and I think it's settled down, but in a good way, where it's not really. It's been really deliberate in what it's done.
Yeah.
But that last line, And it literally, John, is the last line of the episode. I was just like, what?
Yep.
Right. So there you go, John. I hope you're salivating, but you got to catch up to Arrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just sit down for apparently several days and just binge watch it one of these days.
Another aspect of the season, John, too, and is that secrets come out left and right.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brant. My wife and I are fans of the show, and I've already, I'm collecting doggone things on DVD. And it was like, right, one episode after the other, well, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you that. Yeah. Each character's like, it's like true confession.
Yeah, exactly.
We're looking at each other going, holy smokes, Yep. But it's what it needed.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And keep in mind, the whole theme of the season was articulated in the first episode. No one man can beat two people. And I think part of the arc has been Ollie's realizing, okay, do I be the vigilante or do I be Oliver Queen? And I think in that sense, what the show needed was, instead of the soap opera-ish elements that are inherent in other CW shows that are not DC related, it's like, okay, let's raise the emotional state. And the only way to do that is to have these revelations. The thing that surprised me was there's a key relationship where Ollie reveals his identity to someone, and instead of going in a direction where you would expect it to, it went in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
totally.
Totally.
Right. I appreciated that, because it was against type of what you would think, and that was a nice thing for the viewers.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's gotten to the point where the writers are really, really smart in keeping things as fresh as they can, inventing new plot threads, all right, to take us to a different place that especially we as comic fans, you have this attitude, oh, I've seen this all before, I've read the comics for years and years, but they're breaking some molds, and I absolutely love that, all right? It's like, okay, so what's going to happen next? And any show or any storyline where I'm not 100% sure what's coming next has totally got my interest.
Yeah. So.
And that's a good way to segue into what DC is doing, right? With especially the Flash and Arrow, which is something the four of us have been talking about for a long time now.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I didn't know whether to go to that or to Flash first. But thank you, Ron. No, that is awesome. And John, you actually posted the story, so why don't you talk about it?
Yes, I did. Well, it appears that they are planning an Arrow Flash spin-off. Now the characters they've chosen are a little strange. We have Ray Palmer from The Atom, from Arrow, portrayed by Brandon Routh, of course.
Right.
We have Dr. Martin Stein
from Flash. Yeah.
One half of Firestorm from the Flash. And then jumping back to Arrow, we have Laurel Lance as Black Canary.
Well, actually, it's the actress that played Sarah Lance, who
that's true. Yeah. So apparently she didn't die quite as much as we thought she did. And then
I'm going to call
enough,
shenanigans on this news item.
Yeah, me too, but one other thing before you call your shenanigans, we also, for some reason, have Captain Cold.
Yeah, weird.
As part of
who is, in the Flash, a bona fide villain.
There's
redeeming qualities about this guy at all.
What?
There is nothing redeeming at all. Yeah, he's full out.
He likes doing bad things.
Yeah, much more deadly even than he's portrayed in the comics. I mean, he's just a full-out bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, what? He has an epiphany or something? It's
maybe, I don't know.
Is like the Grinch, his frozen heart is melted.
I really hope that's not the case. And Gordon, I'll let you go after I say this. The funny thing is, right now in the comics, Captain Cold's a good guy. He's He's Lex Luthor's assistant, and Lex Luthor is on the Justice League. So. Yeah.
So darn that new 52.
We'll get to that. Gordon, you going to say something?
Okay. Yes. I call shenanigans on this item for for two reasons, and they're probably not related to John's reason for calling shenanigans. The first is that the source of this item is a blog called Deadline.
Sure.
In Deadline, the writer it's a very Perez Hilton type blog where the writer talks about how they, quote, hear these plans, unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not any solid news. It's not like Greg Berlanti or Mark Guggenheimer said, we are developing this project.
Mm-hmm.
So I call shenanigans on the fact that this is all hearsay. The other piece is you've got a production team. They've got 2 shows on the air. They're about to launch a 3rd spin-off show for a major network. So they're pretty much taking on a lot. Their plates are full. You don't start announcing or even start planning to do any kind of spin-off show unless you have the time and the mental bandwidth to do it. So I could see if they were doing if another company was like, it's like the Teen Titans show.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a different company, you can kind of see it. But I call shenanigans. And this is not to chastise John, not even for the entertainment value. But I think this is a piece based mostly on rumor and innuendo. I'm not sure there's any real substance to it.
Okay, so Gordon, let me follow up what you just said, okay? Because the announcements of this supposed spin-off mini TV Justice League, okay, has been picked up by dozens of other, sites and blogs and whatever, all right, from the original. Now, I find it impossible that the folks behind Flash and Arrow have not seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, they have certainly seen it. But I also find it odd that after having seen it explode across the internet, no one from the official front office has come out and just politely said, oh, no, that's just rumor in the window. So could it be possible, Gordon, that even though it is shenanigans, the powers that be are looking and going, wow, look at the reaction to this. Let's just keep it going to see what kind of feedback it gives us for maybe a possible later in another season or whatever we revisit this. But for right now, let's not squash it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deadline doesn't
They're
generally
getting
traffic.
free publicity.
Well, Ron, let me answer your question. And the answer to your question is no. Because
That's all. Just no.
Because here's when the nature of PR is that when a story gets out, whether you believe it's true, whether you believe it isn't, to your point, you usually want to say either yes or no. The fact that this piece, it's not a piece where it's open to interpretation. When first off, if you put in, it's the same way like Perez Hilton or TMZ operate. If you put an item out there, no matter how shenanigan-y it is, it will get viral and it will get spread. There are some rumors that you just don't want to dismiss. I mean, I could say, for example, that you have an anthology of stories in Airship 27 where the authors just took public domain stories, changed the names of characters, and yet published them. That would be shenanigans. And you wouldn't bother responding to that because, the most you might say is, Gordon, how dare you attack my integrity? And let me say for the record, I would never accuse Ron of that. I would accuse myself of that. So at this point, I think everyone is so leaping onto this as, oh my God, there's a new series. I kind of think you need to be rational and look at this as people are picking this up because it's a headline. The fact that the production team or even the CW, they don't look at stories like this and go, hey, there's something here. The development process actually takes a while. So I think that at some point they may be thinking, yeah, Justice League series. I don't think this is it. Because look at the elements, okay? Sarah Lance makes sense. Ray Palmer makes sense. Why would you throw in just Victor Garber and not Robbie Amell to do Firestorm. Why would you do that? That makes no sense. And to have Captain Cold, despite the new 52, that also doesn't make sense. There may be, I'll grant you, there may be a Justice League style show on the development plate. You're going.
No, go ahead and finish.
Go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say, Deadline, as a rule, doesn't traffic in rumor. Deadline's extremely reputable, so I tend to give them the benefit of the doubt on most news stories that they provide, and that is where this story came from, was Deadline. Just wanted to throw that in there, but go ahead, continue.
I'm honestly not sure either way, so I have no dog in this fight. But just
no, me either. I think I even put it at the bottom of the thing. It is such a strange pairing of characters.
Right.
I guess I understand the theory behind wanting to bring characters of the two shows together to build that bridge between or to continually to continue to build that bridge, I should say, between the two shows. But it's just such an odd pairing that I don't really understand the logic behind it, and I suppose maybe that is part of what the plan is.
No, I could see both sides of Firestorm and Atom in a show together. I could see those because they're scientists.
We talked about this.
Right.
Why? Yeah, because also they did that thing at one time where, Atom, he wasn't with Professor Stein at the time, where Atom was kind of having to teach Firestorm, a little bit about chemistry and biology and stuff like that, because Professor Stein was no longer in his head. But as Professor Stein is the main character, that kind of throws that idea out the window.
Right.
So anyway, go ahead, Gordon.
I was about to say, there legitimately may be a Justice League style show.
Oh, I wouldn't call this one, no.
Okay. I'm saying, that's why I'm saying Justice League style.
Yeah.
Because, it may be something completely different.
Yeah.
I just think when I read an item and when I read the words I hear, or where there's more innuendo, and the fact that some of these don't quite jive, it makes me wonder how true it is. Versus, if it said sources report that, or sources behind the scenes report that, I might give it a little more credibility.
I think the rule of thumb is really, unless it's an exec from a studio coming out and saying absolutely this is happening, it's probably going to be a little bit hearsay. But I think it's still, some of these sites base their stuff on, because they do have inside people that give them information, and a lot of times that stuff does come to fruition. We've talked about stuff that's been rumored here before that's come out. So I think it's one of those kind of things it could be some truth to it. It could be completely true. We just don't know at this point.
Well,
This makes me remember, guys, of the old gags that we used to, the old rumor hearsay thing that teachers used to do with us when we were in grade school. Like the teacher would whisper it to the kid in one corner in the classroom, and then you pass it all around. When it got back to the teacher, it was a totally different story.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm not wondering if there isn't a rumor out there that got started, continue to evolve, change, twist, and turn, so that we have this bizarre revelation. Okay, I mean, really, guys. Okay, I think this is definitely one of those pieces that our best stance on this hobby has to be stay tuned for further development.
Exactly.
And because what may evolve from this one rumor could probably be something cool, but nothing at all like what we're hearing.
Right. Very true.
I also wonder if it's not, hey, we on the part of the CW, that, hey, we're doing so well with these other things, let's throw something else against the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the president of CW said at the start of this season, with the advent of Flash, guys, this was public. I mean, when they get out and they introduce their stars and everything else and their schedule, one of the first questions he got asked by some of the reporters was, okay, well, you're taking on the Flash as a spinoff from the successful Arrow. Is there a possibility there will be more spinoffs? And he just laughed, and his answer was, of course. If a show is successful and we're making money and our sponsors are making money, we're definitely not discounting future spinoffs. Right. Yeah. And that was said right out of the horse's mouth, So now we know for a fact the Flash is a humongous hit. Yeah. Even better than Arrow. Arrow's got a solid season. So, something. I mean, they would be crazy not to maximize while the iron is hot.
Right.
But again, I'm with Gordon on this is so tenuous. Again, we'll wait for further development.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of DC shows on other networks, Supergirl we know is coming to CBS, and I think this is pretty cool that they have cast Dean Cain from obviously Lois and Clark and Helen Slater, who played Supergirl in that movie. They've cast them in undefined roles for the series, though. But it's kind of cool because we have John Wesley Shipp in Flash, who played the Flash in the '90s TV show, and stuff like that. And we saw a lot of that happen in Smallville too.
So so what are we getting? I mean, we talk about this all the time, guys. We're literally seeing a generation of Hollywood producers and writers who grew up as comic fans, liking those other shows,
right.
So it's just like they're fanboys producing these. When I saw this with the bit with Slater and Kane, I said, there it goes, okay? Obviously, who's ever behind the production crew and showrunners for the Supergirl are a bunch of fans, besides writers. I think this is awesome.
Yeah, no, it totally is. I agree.
Well, and it also helps, these two kind of escape the Superman curse. Because neither one of these two actors has exactly blown up Hollywood.
You mean those movies on Sci-Fi Channel with Dean Cain aren't the bomb?
Well, I was thinking of that, and I was thinking of the fact I don't even recall anything that Helen Slater has been in a long time. So,
well, to be fair, John, she has done a lot of directing behind the camera. So I think she's actually done I do agree. I don't think starring in Sharknado ripoff is necessarily a career high. What's also interesting, I don't know if any of you caught this about a week ago, but the producers of Supergirl were looking for a body double. Somebody had asked them how they're going to handle the whole Superman issue, because it was never, who's going to play Superman.
Right.
They're looking for essentially a physical double. I don't know if they have an actor to play the role, but I'm wondering if they're taking they're going to shoot him from behind or whatever to make it clear that, Superman's part of this, but since the focus is on her, he's not going to be driving the action. I just wonder if any of you guys heard that.
Yeah, we actually talked about that on Comic Frontline Live last week. When that casting notice came out, we kind of thought this along the same lines as you were thinking, that maybe they're going to show him off in the distance or silhouetted or something, just to give that imagery, and then move on from there.
It's almost like a take on Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
When we never saw Charlie, he was just a voice.
Right.
So I could see them doing that. I mean, Supergirl's the focus of the show, so you get to see this hulking, shoulder like we do when we write comic scripts, point of view over shoulder, right? And that's supposed to be Superman, and you get a voice actor with a big booming voice, and there you go.
Right. Or, have them up in the sky having a conversation, just these, two flying silhouettes.
Yeah, there you go.
And, he'll fly off one way and then she'll land, and we'll start the story.
There you go.
I had to look up Helen Slater because I was curious, just to see what she's been up to.
Whoa, wait, I get asked.
Okay.
Didn't she do the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No. You're thinking
of...
That
was Christy Swanson.
Swanson, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, she was actually... Okay, going back a ways, she did a bunch of, here and there stuff. But she was the voice of Talia al Ghul on Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
And
I did not know that.
Yeah, then she did a bunch of, just little appearances here and there. In 2007, we know she was on Smallville for a few episodes. Then she did a TV series called Gigantic in 2010-2011. That only lasted like 10 episodes. Then she was on The Lion Game for 30 episodes in 2011 to 2013. And last year, she was on Young and the Restless. So...
Oh, there you go.
not like not Academy Award winning stuff here, but at least she's been active.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes that it gets lost when people say, "Oh, well, you haven't done anything big." There are a lot of people out there who are pretty solid working actors.
Yeah.
I think you need to commend them for at least staying in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than, like, say, going back to waiting tables.
Yeah. Now, Dean Cain, on the other hand...
Well, yeah,
he's been in so many TV series and movies over the years, I couldn't even begin to list them, but, like, I'm looking down this list just at a few of them, and many of them have a dog in them. I mean, let's see, A Dog for Christmas, The Dog Who Saved Summer, A Bell for Christmas... there was something, The Three Dogateers.
Obviously, he never listened.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and Ron's probably going to be the only person who gets this. Dean Cain is becoming the William Shellert of the new millennium.
Obviously, he never listened to W.C. Fields. So.
Oh,
shoot. But, he's still staying busy, though, so more power to him.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to give him this. At least he's busy.
Yeah.
At least he's out there.
Yeah, it's funny. I served a few weeks ago. We had an election, a mayoral primary election, and I had served as election judge. And lo and behold, guess who's serving with me? Dean Cain. Guy will do anything for a buck.
Oh. Okie doke. All right.
I don't even know where to go from there.
Yeah,
let's go somewhere. Did you guys
up and away?
Did you guys see the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week? It returned after the hiatus.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh
God.
Man.
Awesome episode, right?
Yeah, crazy awesome.
Yeah, and again, some ridiculous shifts in the dynamics between the group.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who was it? Fitz.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping Sky's secret.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that caught me off guard. Totally.
Yeah.
All right. And I kept waiting the whole hour for her to, manifest her quake powers.
Yeah.
And man, they just contained it. And I went, oh, you're really teasing the hell out of us.
And what about Simmons developing this hatred for
Whoa.
superhumans?
Yeah.
Whoa. Boy, that came out of left field.
It did. I was like, what?
There's a dark side to Simmons.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that time with Hydra didn't have some kind of effect.
Oh, well,
Wow.
You're seeing all these bad things happen.
Yeah. Wow.
And, let's kill them all. I mean,
and let's not mention what's up with oh jeez, what's her name? Bobby Morse, Mockingbird, and I cannot think of his name either. Big dude.
Mac.
Thank you. What's up with them? That little exchange towards the end.
Well,
Well, they used to be married. So
No. That's not Mac.
The African American.
Yeah, Henry Simmons. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that little because
it
was the tease. Oh, we're in a support group, and then you get that little thing at the end, and it's like
they've been on missions before.
Yeah,
and that's what he started the conversation with. Like, this is very reminiscent of, and she came back, and we're not privy to exactly everything.
Right.
So it was very much between the two of them on something they've experienced on their own, and are afraid is happening again.
Yeah, it almost sounded like they had some other kind of contingency plan thing going on.
Yeah, their own private agenda.
Yeah.
Well, consider what they were looking for. They mentioned what they were looking for in Coulson's desk.
Okay.
Did you miss that?
Fury's toolbox?
Oh, yeah, Fury's toolbox.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah, Fury's toolbox, so...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they're working for Fury.
Ah, that's quite possible.
Maybe he wants his toolbox back.
He needs that tape measure really bad.
Well, yeah, it was a funny thing, and I live tweeted this. There was that crash with one van, and I said, "Where the heck is Fury's van when you need it?"
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yes.
then a van very much like Fury showed up.
Oh, yes. No, I mean, look, it's great to have the show back. And again, what happened to, what's her name? Raina. Holy smokes.
Oh, wow, yeah. Porcupine Pete there.
Yeah, that was freaky. Oh, yes. Okay. And, of course, she's deadly as hell now.
Yeah. Then the other, and they mentioned Inhuman by name. They mentioned Terrigenesis. They mentioned all that stuff.
They're pushing Inhuman big time on this.
Yeah, so then we go into a segue for the trailer for next week, and Lady Sif is back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa! Man, they're hitting the ground running.
And After Sky.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's really picking up again, and it made that whole break over the winter worth it. It's just like, it's back, and I'm happy.
I am just going to be really curious, because obviously their season's going to end just about, maybe a month before Age of Ultron comes out?
Maybe right around the same time. Yeah, it's got to be around there somewhere.
Right, and there've been a lot of rumors and innuendo
on May 1st.
Right, and so there's a lot of talk that, maybe Coulson or one or two of the others may pop up in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, which I would love.
So again, I'm just wondering if they're not dropping some kind of hints or whatever on some of the things that are going to pop up or get resolved in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, apropos of nothing, I have breaking news.
Okay.
Harrison Ford has been seriously injured crashing his plane into a Los Angeles golf course. He received several gashes on the head and was bleeding. 2 doctors that just happened to be on the golf course rushed over to help. He's currently been taken to the hospital.
Wow.
Oh, man.
So that's all the information right now. But, apparently, for people who don't know, Harrison Ford's a pilot.
Yeah.
He's a certified pilot on his own. And he was apparently alone in the plane. So he is alive, but seriously injured.
His home residence. Yeah, he lives on a big ranch in Utah.
Yeah, he does. And he has a lot of planes of his own.
Right, and he flies back and forth to Hollywood all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
This is like one of the from the looks of the picture, it's like one of those planes you would see at like the stunt shows and stuff. Yeah, like an air show. It's a 2-seater plane, no cockpit, no enclosed cockpit. It's an open cockpit and all that. So so there's that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just thought that was important enough to jump in with.
Absolutely. That's
continue the show.
Didn't he injure his ankle? Didn't he break his ankle a couple of months ago?
Yeah, on set.
Yeah, well, a door on the Falcon, the Millennium Falcon, fell on his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was heavy. It was actually created out of metal and fell onto his leg and broke his leg in a couple of places, I think, and they had to stop filming for a couple of months. While he recuperated. Right. So he's not had the best, couple of years injury-wise.
Year going, right? Yeah.
Yeah, or ongoing year, so.
That's
hopefully by the time our loyal Zone 4 listeners listen to this show, he will be safe and sound, recovering and getting better. Our thoughts, wishes, and everything else definitely on that.
Absolutely. Right.
Yes, indeed.
Totally. And since we're in that frame of mind right now, we should of course mention Leonard Nimoy, who of course played Mr. Spock on the original Star Trek, passed away recently as well. Well, not as well, but he passed away recently. And our thoughts and prayers and everything go out to his friends and family as well. So that was a huge loss for especially our culture.
Right.
All of us. I mean, all of us who grew up, my age. God, grew up in the '60s. Star Trek was it. Okay, I mean, Star Trek came along, and there had never really been anything like it. I mean, I can remember as a little kid when television, was first on the scene, and you're lucky enough to get things like Tom Corbett's Space Ranger or Space Patrol, and I mean, nice for the little kiddie crowd, all right. But by the time we got to the '60s, people like myself, comic fans, sci-fi fans, and everything else, all right. I mean, we were desperate for something like this, and God bless Gene Roddenberry and that phenomenal crew, all right. And along comes Star Trek, and I can remember the excitement of watching it as a teenager, all right? And my dad was just as enamored, and so was my mother. It was a quality show, but of all the characters, Nimoy had the biggest challenge of all as a character, because he literally had to do what actors aren't supposed to do. He had to show no emotion. Where everything's going on, he was going to be the cool cucumber in the middle, all right, and play that half human, half Vulcan, so that if he ever showed emotion, it had to be something subtle, very, very under the surface or whatever. And come on, guys, okay? I mean, the real shock and sadness of his passing is all of us realize that honestly, nobody else could have done Spock except for Leonard Nimoy. I mean, he was a gifted actor, and he got this character perfect. We all watched Star Trek to see what would happen to Spock next.
Yeah, there are two other things that.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say there are two other things that bring me to mind beyond Star Trek. I'm a person who likes to know things, likes to know histories and things like that. And he had a show back when I was a kid called In Search Of. Mm-hmm. And it was, very much what you see now on so many channels, looking into the history and mythology and things like that of things. Stuff like Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and stuff like that too. But, also into various cultures and things like that I always found real fascinating. And then, much later in his life, he really showed just how hilariously funny he was on a couple of different occasions. One, there was a car commercial with he and Zach Quinto in it.
Oh, God.
That was just so funny.
That is so funny. Oh.
And yes. Then, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar, but there's a song called The Lazy Song by Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
And he did a version, did a video for it, where the video followed him through his day. He left his house in his robe and pajamas, went to a grocery store, drank milk right there in the middle of the grocery store,
Wow.
flipped off a guy. He was just walking through the street. This guy almost hit him. He just flipped him off. Just this crazy little 3-minute video that was just hilarious. And you're looking at it going, my God, this is Mr. Spock in here. What's going on? And it was just so funny. And there have been a lot of times like that things have popped up that, just shows what a great comedian he was. And, just anytime you got to hear him in an interview or something, just being himself was always a really interesting, good thing. He was so, so articulate and into so many things. And, just kind of one of those people who may have been kind of defined by one role. Yeah. But there was really, really so much more to him than that.
Oh yeah, I mean he was a poet, he was a writer and
a director.
Obviously a director, yeah.
Oh man,
directed 3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah, and
Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck had memories of working with him and how much fun it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gordon.
Well, I was about to say, when you look at his body of work, this is a man whose credits include The Outer Limits, Mission Impossible, and Friend.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, and there's all sorts of stuff in between. So this is, even if you take the Star Trek stuff out, he's still got a pretty impressive body of work. And I'm not, the other thing is I think he was probably more of an ambassador and fought more for the principles that Trek espoused than I think any of his cast. Some level, because he was always the guy who wanted to make sure that he fought for when his coworkers weren't getting as paid as much as he was, he would fight. I think he also kind of served as he was better able to articulate those values. And I will also say that with his hit single, "The Ballad of Bilbo Baggins," he did a lot more for that J.R.R. Tolkien novel than Peter Jackson could ever hope to. Yeah, 3 minutes.
It was a
3 minutes versus 9 hours.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's true.
Well, yeah, and also a gifted photographer, and this happened really, really late in his life. It was very recently. He did a book of, well, there's no other way to say it, but large women, nude, to show, that there's no size limit to beauty. And it was really, and I forget the name of the project, but it was a whole project that he had done, and this whole organization was kind of built around it, but it was really, really impressive, I thought.
It was one of his later roles, but he was, I think Gordon might have mentioned it, Fringe.
Oh, yeah, on Fringe, too, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and he wasn't on there all the time. He was just, every once in a while, but his presence on that show he was this character that nobody could get to, that nobody knew, and he was just this iconic character even on that show that they built him up so much, and he was the only guy with that kind of presence that could have pulled that off.
Well, I mean, wasn't he, and I think it was the second season, Brant, that he was actually the season finale?
Yeah.
Where you finally, she goes into his office, Olivia, and she turns around, and he's standing there. And that was the finale. That was the big cliffhanger, but it was Leonard Nimoy,
Yeah, exactly.
And I love Fringe, and I can remember going, oh, my God, it's Leonard Nimoy, it's like, whoa. And that's the impact.
I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing about him. He wasn't playing Spock all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of actors, when you get a big hit, and they get roles later on, they tend to... For example, some Star Trek actors tend to play their own personality over and over again. You never got that sense with Nimoy. The fact that he went, half human, half alien. He took over from Martin Landau in Mission Impossible. He was kind of the master of disguise. And then at one point he played Holmes. He was an Equus. He did the documentary series that John talked about. And you never got the sense that he was playing the same role or even the same character type over and over again. I mean, the same man that brought us Star Trek 4 brought us 3 Men and a Baby. Go figure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of all, so many celebrities and personalities over the last week have been, publishing their thoughts and memoirs of their association with him. And I can always remember Max Allan Collins, the mystery writer, talking about the fact that he saw him on stage, as you were mentioning, Gordon, in playing one in his playing Sherlock Holmes, which he got rave reviews for, and a lot of people don't understand. He also did a one-man show playing Van Gogh.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, his depth and talent were immeasurable.
Oh, wait a second. He played Theo, I believe, didn't he? He played Theo Van Gogh, Vincent Van Gogh's brother.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, and he was the whole play was essentially him reading letters from Vincent, if I remember correctly.
Right, and was it? Because we're talking, and now we're saying this. I actually remember seeing this because public television ran it.
Yeah, I believe I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. Yeah. And to think, years even after Star Trek, all right, even after he became a celebrity and he went on and did all these other things, right? I'm the pulp guy and I'm the cliffhanger junkie, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And I collect all kinds of cliffhangers, as many as I can get my hands on. And I think Nimoy was born in 1931, and the serials didn't die out till the early 1950s. Well, one of the last serials ever done, which again would have come out in 1952, 1953 or whatever, was one of the Rocket Men serials, of which there were 3 from Republic. And I think it's Zombies of the Stratosphere. And it's a Commando Cody serial. And Nimoy plays an alien soldier in that serial. It's like one of the first acting jobs he ever got in Hollywood.
Wow.
And I'm watching it all these years later, and I'm going, wait a minute. Who the heck is... And, they put all this makeup on his face, all right? And he's got this, jumpsuit on and everything. He's supposed to be this creature from... This Martian, for whatever reason, all right? And basically, Commando Cody catches him and is grilling him for information about the invasion that's coming. And it's Leonard Nimoy. You can just see him years younger, all right? But he's playing this zombie from the stratosphere.
That is the greatest name. I love that name.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, what a career! Holy smokes!
And I'm looking at that was 1952.
There you go. See, yep.
Yeah, he had 3 acting credits that year. That was one of his first 5 things that he ever did.
Oh, the precursor to Spock. What can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is even funnier, and you'll remember this, Ron. That the initial pilot for Star Trek.
Yeah, with Jeffrey Hunter.
Right, where he was like 3rd or 4th banana at that point.
Yeah, right.
Because you had Hunter,
was the first officer.
Right, you had the female number 1, and then I guess he was like number 2.
Science officer. Yeah, right. Yep. But of all the people they brought back to redo,
they kept him.
They kept him.
Wow. Wow. I'm looking down some of his credits, man. You guys mentioned some of them, but he was on Gunsmoke, The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh, yeah. In the early days, he was
Harry
everywhere.
Mason,
yeah, Project Strike here.
Yeah.
Well, the episode of Man from U.N.C.L.E., all right, I mean, for your trivia, fans out there, okay, in the episode from Man from U.N.C.L.E., he co-starred in that episode with William Shatner.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, but let's be fair, because when after he died, one of the local stations reran it. They're not on screen together.
No, they're not. No, they're not. But they're in the same episode.
Right.
Boy
does a much better job.
Yeah, I was about to say, surely if they had been, he wouldn't have gone on Star Trek. Yeah. But it's like, that guy, no, definitely not.
And it's an episode where I secretly wished Robert Vaughn would have taken out his gun and shot William Shatner.
There you go.
And not to change the subject, but Ron, did you know that there's a Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie coming out this year?
Oh God, yes.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the trailer. The trailer is hilarious, and I'm particularly happy, guys, that they've kept it a '60s, a period piece, because it looks like what they're going to do with the movie. It's a Guy Ritchie movie for people who don't know who reinvented Sherlock Holmes for us, and basically. The guy who played Superman, and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Henry Cavill.
All right, is playing Napoleon Solo, and Archie Hammer Lone Ranger is Ilya Kuryakin, and I loved The Man from U.N.C.L.E. when it was a TV show. I absolutely adored that show. It was a blast, and just too much fun. It never took itself too seriously, and they're doing the same thing here. There's a great deal of element of humor in it, and what they're doing is giving us the creation of U.N.C.L.E. where Solo and Kuryakin meet for the first time, which, as the TV series was launched, they were immediately both agents of Uncle fighting Trush and whatever. But we're going to get sort of like a little origin story, and they go, like friendly rivalry against not trusting each other and stuff like that. So anyway.
And there's even a scene where Henry Cavill is like beating the crap out of Armie Hammer, and if they have a full scene where Henry Cavill beats the crap out of Armie Hammer, it will become my new favorite movie after Haywire.
I'm just surprised it didn't make him change his name. Ileana Kariakis.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised it didn't make him change his name.
Yeah, well, hey.
How many people? More people are going to screw that up than Adele Dazeem.
No, I've got to throw something in because we're segueing into the film stuff that's happening now, okay? And I've got to bring this up in a flip side thing for the little news break that we had earlier about Harrison Ford's dangerous accident, his airplane accident. And have any of you guys seen Kingsman yet?
Oh, yes.
I've not seen it, but I want to.
Oh,
Gordon, have you seen it?
Not yet.
Okay. John, we really cannot. I'm not going to spoil this because
I cannot spoil it.
No,
but
you're gonna know where I'm coming from. All right,
yeah.
You will get it. You guys have to see Kingsman. Okay, it's this over-the-top spy movie, and early on in the film, all right, there's a sequence that takes place like up in the Alps. There's a chateau, and there's this frumpy old British scientist who's been captured by this evil spy organization. And he's tied up, and he's like, why have you brought me here, and what do you want to do with me, and all this. And ultimately, an agent of the Kingsman shows up to save him, all right? But he, in turn, is killed by Samuel L. Jackson's assassin, this beautiful girl who's got these, like, weird prosthetic blades on her feet, okay?
Okay.
Now, I'm telling you all this because my wife and I are in the theater watching the movie. And this happens like within the first 10 minutes of the film. It's like the second scene in the movie. And I'm looking at it, all of a sudden I'm like leaning over and looking at the frumpy English scientist professor who's been kidnapped, and my jaw dropped. And I leaned over to my wife and I whispered who the character actor was, and she went, "No freaking way." And the scene plays itself out. We later see him again in the film, and she went, "Son of a bitch, it is him." And that's all I want to say. John knows what I'm talking about. Were you as surprised, John?
I was completely blown away. I recognized him immediately, but I was completely blown away.
It took me a second. It really took me a second. And John, here's the joke, okay? The first time my wife and I went to the San Diego Comic-Con, she actually bumped into him at a cocktail party.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And they stood and talked to each other for about 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So when she realized who it was, you guys have got to go see this film.
Talk about fanboy geek out. I would have fanboy geeked out big time on that.
Oh,
one.
she was beside herself. All right, she was just I had gotten derailed by some comic writers and was over meeting Julie Schwartz for the first time. Man, talk about geeking out.
Yeah.
My wife was like, go ahead. I'm going to go get a cocktail, And so she went into this other room where they had a skyline. And basically what happens is this actor was going into the room same time as she was. They bumped, so he apologized. They started talking, and he said, "It's a beautiful night." She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I love coming to these shows. I love comics and everything else." And my wife was like, realized who he was. All right. The room was kind of dark, but she knew. And so she stood there and talked to him for 15 and 20 minutes. And then he said, nice talking to you. She said, likewise. And he went off to see some other people. So she goes and finds me. She says, "You'll never guess who I was talking to." So anyways, it's just like name-dropping stuff here. But The Kingsman is a really, really over-the-top, fun movie. I recommend it.
Yeah, really good, though.
Yeah, and just that little bit at the start, you guys have to go and see, and then we'll talk some more about it.
Okay. Well, just a question, and this is not a spoiler question. Is the appearance, the level of Lee Majors in the Human Target series awesome?
Oh yeah.
Above that, like
This actor is
50%.
a cultural icon.
Yeah.
Okay? He is a cultural icon. And for them to use, and this is why it was so bizarre, for them to use so little makeup, really? But then again, you don't recognize him? Oh my God, it was insane. It was just insane. Kudos to him for pulling that off.
Honestly, and I don't think this is a spoiler at all, it's because of his voice skills.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the British accent.
Purely.
Yeah, it was perfect. Purely. It was dead on. And he's about as American as cornbread.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you couldn't be any more American if,
Yeah.
If we made him out of the flag and apple pie, honestly.
So, anyways, we teased you guys both enough.
Yeah.
Go see Kingsman. It is a lot.
Just because it's a fun movie. I mean, it's just a totally fun. This isn't spoiling anything because it's been in the trailers, but what the heck is with the lisp, Samuel L. Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on. Okay, how do you do that? We come out of the theater and Valerie was like, can you believe that lisp?
Because it wasn't integral to anything in there.
No, it was just him riffing. He was having a good time with the role. All right,
just being different.
He's the major villain. You could tell he's chewing up the scenery. And how do you do that for a whole movie? That's what my wife said. He never loses it once, and every time he talks, you want to die laughing.
Yeah, because it was just so funny and out of character.
Yep.
Well, that's good. That's what you want out of a Samuel Jackson.
Well, it was.
He's always Sam Jackson.
Yeah, it was as much out of character as Mr. Glass in Unbreakable.
Right. And the rest of the cast: Colin Firth, Michael Caine, Mark Strong. All right, and I don't know who this young guy is who has.
Oh, he was good though.
But carried that film perfectly. It's just
And loved the girl too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
I've wanted to see this movie since they started showing stuff about it because it just looks fun. So I'm glad to hear it is.
My good buddy from Brooklyn, Derek Ferguson, the major movie reviewer, and he's written books of it, collecting of his reviews and everything. Absolutely loves film. So I had been waiting to see Derek's review. I figured Derek's got to see Kingsman. There's no way he can't. So Valerie and I go on vacation to Florida a couple of weeks ago. We're gone for a whole week. We come back home and we're home for like 2 or 3 days, and Valerie goes, well, I want to go see a movie. I said, all right, but I'm telling you right now, no argument. I want to see Kingsman. It's been out for almost 2 weeks. I have to see Kingsman. So she says, okay, I just want to go to the theater. So we went to see it. Now I come back home, and I'm home maybe a couple hours, and I get on Facebook, and I write this very short little, saw Kingsman, it's the acting, super, blah, 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 and that's it, go see it. That's all I did. 10, 15 minutes later, I get a post comment from Derek, right? And it's like he's cussing in the comment. He goes, I haven't seen it yet. He goes, my wife and I were going to go see it yesterday, which was like Saturday or whatever, right? And as we talked earlier, Brooklyn got dumped with another snowstorm. He's suffering cabin fever, and he's like about 6 movies behind where he's crazy.
Oh shoot, that's hilarious.
I know. I think New York got it as bad, if not worse, than we did. So.
Oh yeah. New York and Boston. You see pictures and you think
they got clobbered again.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, my granddaughter goes to college in Wheelock in Boston, and I mean there were days a few weeks ago that they actually shut down the college because kids couldn't get from their dorms to the to the hall.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you, here in town, they shut down restaurants.
Yeah, Mom was saying it got bad up in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I went out to get my wife some coffee. Our local, the Starbucks right near the house, closed 5 minutes before I got there.
Wow.
I had to drive to the one across town that was closing early as well, but they weren't closing, for a little bit. And then I went looking for food, and I mean, honestly, places that are usually open all the time closed completely. Yeah. I got stuck with McDonald's. That's how,
Oh, you poor
That's
guys.
never a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking, There's a local Irish pub next to us that makes great burgers and everything. That's what we were wanting.
Yeah.
I got stuck with McDonald's, so...
Not quite the same.
Not quite the same.
The apocalypse has arrived.
It has. The Snowpocalypse 2015.
Snowmageddon.
The struggle is real.
You know when Texas is getting snow, even that little amount, it's bad. Oh, man.
Well, hopefully all this bad weather will mean that we'll have a dynamite spring.
Oh, please. Mother Nature, listen to us, please.
Yeah, no doubt.
That was I appreciate the effort, Gordon. That was a very segue there.
Good luck with that. They're going to skip spring, and it's going to go immedially to like 105 every day.
Yeah, he's talking about
quit your whining, John. I grew up in Chicago. We're used to...
That's true.
Like, we're used to tough winters and blazing hot summers. It's like, whatever. So there's not much that can faze us. I mean,
but you get wind.
That's you get wind. But
and you know what? The wind actually makes the temperature go down even further with wind chill. So we'll be told, okay, it'll be like 5 below with a wind chill of 30. Don't go out, cover yourself up if you go outside, because you will get frostbite in seconds. We're like, screw that. Yeah, we're tough. We put on our big kid pajamas and our heavy coats, and we just do it because that's the way Chicago rolls.
Okay. But Gordon was trying to segue us into these dynamite entertainment stories.
Segue.
That was a Brant level segue there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But look what I got to work with.
That's true.
But you're the one who made the choice to live in Chicago, so it's your own fault.
But since we're going there anyway, and we'll go back to the Avengers movie thing in a minute. But there are a couple new books that probably interest you guys more than they do me. From Dynamite, Matt Wagner is resurrecting Will Eisner's The Spirit.
Yes, he is.
And Mark Waid is reviving Justice Inc. Both at Dynamite. Mark Waid I'm excited about. I don't have any familiarity with Justice Inc. at all, though.
Well, I mean, he's not so much reviving it as continuing it.
Oh, he's continuing.
Only because they just wrapped up, I think it was like a 6-issue miniseries whereby Doc Savage, the Shadow, and the Avenger team up. And in that particular series, which I think Michael Uslan wrote, you saw the origins of Richard Benson, the Avenger. So now, basically, what I see this is as an offshoot. Dynamite's giving us a regular series of the Avenger, and Mark Waid's going to be drawing it. And from what I've read and seen online in the artwork, it looks really decent. I picked up Justice Inc. I liked the story, but I thought the art was really subpar, whereas whoever the artist is they've assigned to Justice Inc. with Waid really knows his stuff. And the early preview pages I've seen, this looks like it could be a really good, honest adaptation of a classic pulp hero. So I've got it on my pull list already.
Awesome. I'm sad that Wade's leaving Daredevil. Best Daredevil in years.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool. It's I think it's Ronaldson Frere who worked with him on the Green Hornet series.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And again, like I said, I got high hopes of this. If you're not familiar with the character, Richard Henry Benson, the Avenger, he was the last of the great, cool pulp characters to come out of Street and Smith, the people that did the Shadow and Doc Savage, and basically that's how he was created. The editors wanted as yet another, pulp hero, so they basically got Walter Gibson, the creator of the Shadow, and Lester Dent of Doc Savage to sit down at an editorial meeting with Farnsworth, I believe that was his name, the managing editor, and the three of them together decided on this idea of another pulp hero who would take elements from both the Shadow and Doc Savage. Then they turned around and went and got a veteran pulp writer named Paul Ernst to come on. They gave him, the Bible, what they wanted. Ernst was sent home to write the first Avenger book and the origin story and whatever. And what they did was, unlike, as they always did in the pulps guys, to sell it, Doc Savage was so popular, what they did was they had a big promotion where, Street and Smith gives you the latest new pulp hero by the same writer as Doc Savage, Kenneth Robeson, which was the house name that Lester Dent wrote the Doc Savage books under. So Paul Ernst came along and wrote the Avenger books under the same house name, Ken Robeson, but they were really two different writers doing the book.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Which is probably 10 times more information than you guys wanted, but hey, it's what I know. What can I tell you,
No, I mean, I'm looking forward to, I always look forward to anything Matt Wagner does, so.
Well, Matt Wagner, the kicker with Matt Wagner and me, look, Gordon keeps dropping off here someplace. Something's going on. John, who's drawing this? Because Matt Wagner's writing the Spirit, which I'm, hallelujah. Yeah. But they don't tell us who's drawing it.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure. I mean, I suppose it's within the realm of possibility that Wagner could be drawing it himself. But from these two images, neither one of those is his style.
At all.
At all, yeah. I mean, people who are a fan of Grendel or Mage, you know how Matt Wagner draws. So I don't know. They're kind of keeping it under wraps right now, I guess. But
I kind of hope, because again, he's a heavy hitter as a writer.
Yes,
his work on the titles you mentioned and his Green Hornet Year One, I thought was fantastic. So hopefully they've assigned a really decent artist to do the character justice, and this could be a great series for them as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I really like the cityscape one and Spirit in the background like that. It's very it's very reminiscent of kind of an Eisner piece.
Well, I was DC went up and down for a while with their interpretation, but eventually when Darwin Cook took it over, I absolutely loved it. I thought Cook had a blast writing and drawing it, and it was a unique interpretation of the Spirit. It's such a great an iconic comic classic character. So again, high hopes they get a decent artist to work with Wagner.
Okay, I seem to have rejoined the call. Yay!
Yay!
Oh, man. No, I couldn't get him back on.
Bloody Skype.
Bloody Skype.
Oh, yeah.
I said, yeah. For those who have been listening, for some reason at my end, everything, I couldn't hear anybody. And for some reason, I got cut off.
Wow.
Very odd. And
I think okay, John, you hit mute, didn't you?
I'm sorry?
You decided you had enough of me talking, so you hit mute.
Oh, dude, if that was the thing that I had control of...
He'd be muting all of us.
It would be my show all the time.
Oh.
Just me, nobody else.
Hey, Brant, I think that should be a Zone 4 spinoff, where it's just John for hours
just me arguing with myself. Yeah.
If the listeners want that, we can make it happen.
Taking both point and counterpoint, arguing with myself. I could do it. I mean, if that's what the fans want.
Yeah, if that's what you guys want, let us know. Zone 4 at comicrelated.com.
Yeah, I am schizophrenic enough to make that happen.
Oh, shoot. That would be hilarious.
There are plenty of people living in my head. They could carry on a conversation.
Oh, man. All right.
Moving right along.
Did you guys get a chance to see the latest Age of Ultron? Yeah,
Age of Ultron. Yes, I love Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I love that. I love that show.
Oh, shoot.
With help later. It was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, Age of Ultron.
He goes to work by taking the A train and...
All right, you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this one was a lot more jokey, or, a lot more kind of what you expect from an Avengers movie. Those kind of little gags. It's like, Thor saying, "Is that all you got?" And then suddenly, a whole bunch more show up, and Cap goes, "Oh, you had to ask."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was awesome seeing that.
I don't know. It was a great scene, but you know, it's much more that kind of
the tone,
rip tickling sort of fun that you expect out of a Marvel.
That and also that little headbutting with Stark once again going, well, I was really trying to make something good, guys,
Trying to fix the world again, and I screwed up again.
Are you ever going to learn? Stop doing this.
Honestly, why didn't someone just hit him upside the head and go, stop trying to fix the world?
Really, it's like, whoa.
Constantly screwing it up. Cut it out.
The better mousetrap. Oh, give me a break. God.
Like our mousetrap is good enough. Leave it.
Yeah. Oh.
And were they teasing a little romance there between Black Widow and Hulk?
Oh, they weren't teasing it. It was blatant.
It was full on. I was like, what?
And the funny thing is, I think it's going to be that romance where she doesn't even like Banner. She's in love with the Hulk.
Oh, can you be green this time?
Can
you grow? Can you change?
Just for a while. I think like one of those joke sites actually did that.
Really?
Yeah, did it's like, oh, I'm bored with you in your Banner. Can you be the Hulk?
Yeah.
And you know what? Again,
I'm going to repeat a line that I often hear on Radio Free Starl, and that is, and the slapstick writers go crazy.
Yes, exactly.
But you know what? We've gotten 3 trailers now, all right? And they've all augmented the action and the humor and everything else. And this one we even get more Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and blah 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 blah. And I still find it amusingly, something to take note of is not one visual of the Vision.
No. Well, in this one,
that's funny. No visual of the Vision.
Yeah. Yes.
In this one, you get like a third of a second.
Oh, did we actually see?
Yeah, you get like it's quick. It's real quick.
Yeah, because like
a third of a second.
At the end, you see like a little yellow light, and it looks like a man's head. And then the final scene is you see red skin, eye open.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do remember that part. Yeah.
I just find it funny. I wonder if like the Vision, or not Vision, I'm sorry, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver even have dialogue in this movie.
Doesn't seem like it, does.
Have you noticed? I mean, even Rhodey got to say something in a trailer. They haven't said part 1 yet.
They just look at us and breathe.
Yeah, she screams. He runs. That's it.
Yeah, but guys, you do understand that the trailer is not supposed to give you all of the movie. I mean, we had this conversation about like the Fantastic Four trailer, except the makers of that need to watch these trailers to learn how it's done.
I was about to say, you can't compare those two.
I was about to say. Or haven't you seen trailers lately? They have to give away the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way it's done now.
Yeah, totally.
But, I don't know. I like the way they, I liked Quicksilver's punch on Captain America.
Oh, that was nice. That was very nice.
That was a unique perspective. I've not really seen it from that angle before, the speedster stuff.
Yeah.
I like that.
That
was cool.
You know what I really would like to have? I would like to be able to to hear the director's commentaries for these trailers, to have them discuss why they chose these shots.
Yeah.
Like they did with the Fantastic Four trailer.
Yeah. That's because they don't need to. Yeah.
These trailers explain themselves.
Oh. Man. Interesting. Hugh Jackman was interviewed, and he talked about the possibility of doing crossover with X-Men and Avengers.
You gotta
Never gonna happen.
You just gotta love you. He wants to be everywhere.
Yeah.
He also said he wants to play Wolverine until he dies.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
He wants to play Old Man Logan. I can see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's that's coming up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I don't see. Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, considering that both Fox and Sony don't really get along well with Marvel Studios, and Fox a little bit more so than Sony.
Right.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Yeah. So Sony was kind of left with little choice. They kind of had to. Fox is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson's probably going to be the new Spider-Man, you know? He's going to get in there one way or another.
He will. Activate Spider Claws.
There was supposed to be an announcement by Robert Downey Jr. today, and there's rumors like he's going to pop up in a Spider-Man movie or something like that. I don't know, but he was supposed to make an announcement today, and he has not as of yet.
I honestly just thought his little "come join me for the Avengers" thing was the whole announcement.
Oh, you think that's what it was?
It might have been. I mean, they played it even on the radio.
Yeah, but he said 8 days on the 25th.
Yeah,
that's today.
Right.
So
I think the invitation to the premiere and stuff was a separate thing,
maybe
on his own initiative, and I absolutely applaud it. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
The charity that he wants to support is poignant and beautiful, and I give this guy all the props in the world for what he's doing. You know, and my wife's like, Ron, send him $10. I mean, what the hell? Somebody's going to win. And
right.
Wouldn't
I don't want the caviar, but hell, I'd like to go.
Oh, spend the evening with Robert Downey and the rest of the cast of the Avengers Age of... Oh, my God. In heaven.
Yeah, I mean, you get fitted for a tux or gown.
Yeah, right, exactly. You stay at a 5-star hotel, all on his bill. Oh, but yeah, that's really tough to take. Oh, yeah.
You ride to the coat.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't think it'll be as much fun now that he's off drugs, but what the hell, I'll try it.
It's classic Coke, Gordon.
That's what happens in that motorcade on the way to the premiere there. Yeah, classic.
It's classic.
It's not that new Coke, it's that
right. It's not that new Coke the kids are doing. It's
right. The one that still comes Coke in a bottle, you know.
Right. Old school Coke, right off a hooker's ass.
Is that how they should?
I know there's been a lot of scuttlebutt around Iron Man 4. I wonder if the announcement is that whoever the new Spider-Man is. Because I know they just announced that Drew Goddard is directing the new Spider-Man movie in the future. That he'll make his debut in Iron Man 4.
Yeah, I've heard something to that effect, too.
Yeah.
It'll be one of the kids out of Divergent. I just know it.
I'm still voting for. I don't know if you like this choice, Ron. You remember Teen Wolf? I like the guy that plays Styles. I like him as Spider-Man.
Oh man, yes, totally, 100%. I'm a big fan of his. He was in. He had the lead role in his first major film, Maze Runner.
Maze Runner.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that kid. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he does comedy at the drop of a hat. He's good. Yeah. He could be a wise-ass Peter Parker, easily.
Yeah. I think he's perfect. I hope they take note of that.
Yeah, so. I agree, totally.
My only concern is that he's small enough.
Yeah, he is.
You know, because kid in when he was in Maze Runner, he was a little buffer than, you know.
He's fit, but he's lanky, and he's not overly fit. He's not like... Right. Like the rest of the Teen Wolf cast is like
roided up, you know.
Yeah, but he's more.
He's lanky. He is lanky. You're right.
Yeah, well, that'll be good then.
Yeah. So, did you? I know you. I'm probably the only one that watches Community, but did you guys get a chance to see this trailer?
Yes,
it parodied Avengers: Age of Ultron. It's different, right, John?
I'm sure it would have been funnier if I had actually seen Community, but just seeing it was like, okay, they are trying hard here to follow Ultron.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand too. This was a show that was on NBC, and now it's on Yahoo. Their budget's a little bit different.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with Community is that Community had no problem jumping into other genres. I mean, they did a riff on Law and Order. They've done, it's kind of part and parcel of what they do. Yeah. So, I like Community, but I think I'm just kind of a little burned out on the drama of, it's off the air, we need to save it. So I'm approaching it with some caution, but only it's because of my own burnout. It's not what they're doing, it's just my reaction to it. Does that make any sense?
No, yeah, I understand it too, and honestly, watching that trailer, it just didn't feel quite the same as the previous 5 seasons. But whatever. I'm gonna watch it because I'm a fan of the show. But just to give you guys John and Ron, to give you a basis on what Gordon was mentioning, they did a claymation Christmas episode. They did they've done paintball. One of them they were like it was warfare. The other one was like a Wild West, and they had one of the guys from Lost on there that played Sawyer. They've done Dungeons and Dragons episodes where literally the whole episode they're just playing a game of D&D. They've done all kinds of mashup kind of genres.
Isn't that the one with Inspector Spacetime or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I looked at this trailer, Brant, and I got to tell you, okay, I mean, of all of it, it is funny. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But the line that got me, because I'm such a big fan of his, is David Keat. All right?
Yeah.
We're going to do the black thing, huh? He goes, yeah, we're going to do that. He said, look, I'm not going to be the Fort Ghostbuster.
Yeah. I love that line.
I like the line, I've got the brain the size of Jupiter. And
And it's funny too because there were two previous African American characters on there, Shirley and what was the guy's character name?
Donald Glover, who was
Troy.
Oh yeah, Donald Glover. I remember.
Yeah. So they're both gone. So it was kind of funny leading.
Yeah, didn't Chevy Chase jump ship off of that too?
Chevy Chase. Yeah, he jumped ship and his character was killed off because.
Nice.
Yeah,
but
you see, in my mind, the show improved after he left because it's funny. Every episode, everyone else is doing well, and then whenever he come on, that's the same thing with Saturday Night Live. It's like people. He's the kind of comedian who thinks he's funny, but he isn't.
Yeah.
He would bring everything to a dead halt.
Yeah, he sucks all the air out of the room.
His character was a sexist, racist, any other adjective you want to add in that vein.
So it was just Chevy Chase playing himself.
Exactly,
right?
Oh, shoot. But yeah, I had to toss that in there just because it was parodying that.
Okay, now you're talking comedy, and I'm going to throw this in real quick. I'm looking at the clock here, guys. But hey, if you haven't seen, I'm trying to remember what the network is that's putting it out. I don't know if it's Fox or FXX or whatever, but we decided. Slow night. Valerie and I are sitting there, and she goes, "You want to try that Last Man on Earth?" I said, "Give it a shot." Will Forte. Oh my God in heaven! We didn't stop laughing for the whole hour. It is absolutely insane, and that's all I'm going to say, guys. This thing caught me totally by surprise. It's silliness to the max, but at the same time, like I said, the concept, the things he does in this, all of us would do. Okay, I know us. All of us would do some of this stuff. All right, and my wife and I just split a gut. I hope they can keep it up, and I don't want to give away any more than that. But if you have an opportunity on Netflix or on demand to at least see the premiere show, give it a shot. I think you might be surprised.
I'm pretty sure it's Fox.
Yeah.
Because I think it came up with some. It was they were advertising on something I was watching last night. But yeah, I missed the premiere, but I did want to try it out. Will Forte is funny. So.
He's always.
They couldn't have got anybody better than this guy to play this part. Believe me, okay? It's like the if God's gonna do a cosmic joke and have one guy that he's gonna dump on, to be the last man on earth, it's him. All right, because half the show he has these dialogues with God. All right, It is just so funny. It really works.
All right, so since the hour is late, I'm going to skip most of the rest of the stuff we have. I want to mention this. These various theaters, it's AMC theaters, Regal, etc. They're doing this thing. Avengers: Age of Ultron comes out on May 1st. I think the first showing is actually April 30th at 7 p.m., probably Eastern time.
Right.
But all these theaters are doing this Marvel movie marathon where they're showing every single Marvel movie, all 10 films, in succession, back to back, leading up to Avengers: Age of Ultron. So basically, people that go and participate in this are going to be sitting in that theater for over 27 hours straight and watching from Iron Man straight through to Avengers of Age of Ultron in order of release date. It's interesting. I'm wondering how many people are actually going to do this. I don't think anybody on this show is going to do it.
Well, only because the logical question to me, Brant, is that anybody who would sit and watch all these 10 has to have every single one of them as a deluxe Blu-ray already.
Exactly. That's my problem. That's why I came up with an alternative idea, which was there are about 9 weeks between now and Age of Ultron. So, obviously you'd have to double up 1 week since there's 10 films, but just pick one a week and sit there and watch them. Like this week would be Iron Man. Right. Next week's Incredible Hulk. Do it that way. That's my plan. But then that's what I plan on doing. But then Carrie jumped in on this conversation on Facebook that Chuck Moore started about this. And he kind of challenged me, and he was calling me a little girl and all this stuff, saying I couldn't do it and he could, and doing the whole all in one day thing. Oh. And so he proposed, and I wasn't taking the bait. I was like, I've already said I'm not doing this. You can call me a little girl, whatever. But he proposed making it a charity thing and seeing if people would actually donate, like a walkathon, and us doing a live stream or something, seeing if we actually could last. And I just wanted to toss this out there to our Zone 4 Legionnaires. Would anybody be interested in donating to it? I mean, we'll pick a charity or something to do it.
I'm going to say, I'd like to make some comments about this whole idea. The first is people who say, oh yeah, we're going to watch it for 27 hours straight. People who think you're a little girl for not doing it have way too much time on their hands. I mean, nobody. You have to take time off of work. You also have to figure that at some point you're going to sleep. And keep in mind, when you go to a theater, they will not allow you to take in your own food. So the cost is going to go up.
As a money.
Secondly, sitting through 24 hours of Marvel movies, and I say this without being insulting, is that those movies are intense. You need a little time to kind of back off. So here's what I'm going to suggest a third challenge. That if you don't want to do it once per week, go back about 10 days before the first, which would be April 21st, 22nd, and do one a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? And you know what? If Carrie wants to start trash talking me, you know what, dude? Why don't you come here and say it to my face, okay? You don't talk smack about me. You sure as hell don't talk smack about Brant. That's John's job. And you know what? You're a little girl for not doing that. No, it's called, some of us have better things to do with our time than to make arrangements to take off work, go see Marvel movies 27 hours straight. And I think there's this whole thing in the fan community, which is like, they'll go, oh yeah, this is so great and it's cool, but they don't stop to think that, sometimes some things that sound cool are really kind of stupid. And here's my other public challenge to Carrie, okay? You think I'm a little girl? I dare you to sit and watch an entire season of Doctor Who in one day, dude. Okay? That's my challenge. You do that, I will donate $25 to any charity you designate. Especially if it has the words Zone 4 or Bacon in the name.
The National Bacon Charity, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be the first to say it. I'm an old man. I don't do anything for 27 hours in a row.
It's not something that I haven't done, honestly. I watched the entire first season of 24 in the 24-hour marathon kind of thing. I've done it before, and I don't sleep that much, but it's just, like Gordon said, those movies are intense, and that's a long time to sit through a theater.
Well, and honestly, I've seen several of them so many times.
Yeah. True.
I could tell you I'll be catching Z's, in the middle of Avengers or something,
Yeah. It's, but it's a fun thought. I wonder if they stole the idea from Big Bang Theory, where they have those movie marathons. They did the whole Star Wars.
Planet of the Apes thing, and
Yeah, they did all 6 Star Wars movies back to back and stuff like that. But it's a cool idea. It's just, I don't know. I'm just curious if people would actually donate to something like that.
Well,
I'm going to get no responses
all
here.
Zone 4 listeners out there, okay? I get what Brant's going for. Send us your own thoughts and ideas. Is there a way we can capitalize on this for something that's fun, okay, without all of us becoming sleep deprived, all right, and maybe make a little money for a nice, decent charity? Give us your ideas. We want to hear them.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. All right, so we'll skip the rest of the stuff we had to talk about because some of it's kind of lengthy. And we'll start wrapping up the show. So this is the part where we go around the table and see what everybody has coming up, coming out, and going on. John, we'll start with you this time.
Yeah, let's start with me because I can't talk about anything, can I, Brant?
That's why it's started with you. Very soon. Very soon.
Okay, well, I'm doing a lot of stuff, but I can't talk about it. But I will tell you two things. One, and you can go on Comic Related and see the pictures. Just recently I did a little superhero character drawing class at a half-price books.
Yeah.
Locally for their a thing they call Poptopia. It's kind of the thing they do at the last Friday of every month. So that was a lot of fun. We had some cool kids come up with some cool things and everything like that. This weekend, as you hear this, I will be at the Arcade Expo. I'll be digging out of the snow and going out to play video games all weekend at the Arcade Expo here in Louisville. Jealous. And I will be at a con, I think, every weekend this month.
Oh, wow.
So I will tell you all those as they come along. And lastly, I want people who are doing or who are interested in the Derby City Comic Con. I am resurrecting, if I could use my English. I am resurrecting the art show. And it is taking a couple of different iterations. Not only will it be for students, but I'm also adding a section for adults. And, interested amateurs. No pros allowed, but, anybody who's interested in maybe submitting, there'll be a section for you as well. In addition to, there will be a art auction for all the great art that we get from our participants at the show. A lot of it used to just go into the silent auction, but now it's going to be its own separate thing. We're going to do an old school style gavel and scream art auction at the show, and the proceeds of that actually. there may be another different charity that we're going to give those proceeds to, and we'll go into that later on as well. Other than that, other than things I can't talk about, that's it for me.
All right, two things real quick. John, when what you saw...
What I saw...
Yeah, what you saw gets to another stage, then we can talk about it. If that makes sense.
I have to wait some more.
Close, though.
Close.
Anyway, and the other thing, I know the answer to this, but is anybody on this show going to be at Derby City that can actually say that yet? Or no?
Me.
Okay.
Wait, well, else
yeah, I mean, I have to.
When? Derby City?
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
June 20th and 21st of 2015.
Yeah, Airship 27 is going to be there.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if that was like official.
No, I mean, I work this show. I have to be there.
Yeah,
I know you.
Rob Davis, yours truly, and Airship 27 will be at Derby City this year.
Nice.
Yeah. It was funny, Ron. I was talking with Eric Radcliffe on Facebook last night. He's going to be there too.
Right.
And he was like, "Did Ron tell you he was going to be there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of knew that for a long time."
Yeah, it's been a long time since all of us were together at one show. And and Eric and I talked about it a little bit. And Rob and I are really, really excited about doing the show. And I personally am excited about getting together with John and Eric and Chuck and the whole gang again. We just have too much fun doing that.
Yeah. And also here, I can't make it official yet because I still got to see, but I'm hoping to be there myself.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm hoping, and when we get to my segment, that things will work out so I can make it. But for me, it's very iffy at this point.
Yeah. Oh man, well, if you guys could do it, we'd have to do a live zone for you.
Oh heck yeah,
right? That would be awesome. Yeah. So Gordon, with that, let's just go right to you.
Okay, well, in terms of projects, I've got a couple of stories for Pro Se that will be coming out in the next few months. My story in Dreamer Syndicate, New World Navigation, I just finished the proofing and sent that out. That should be released in April or May. I've got one or two stories for Airship 27 that will get released at Ron's When, and I just edited a book for Ron, and he can talk about that. But the thing that I'm most excited about is I am actually launching my own business. It's a marketing consultancy for nonprofits, social ventures, and small businesses. And it's called One Cause Consulting, and it's basically helping small businesses with online marketing, media and public relations, and I just launched it this week. Part of it is when I've got all this experience. When you're looking for a job and you're basically told, "Oh, we're looking for people who are more junior than you," I figured I'd take all this great experience and kind of create my own company. So, for more information, you can like us on Facebook, and you can find our website at onecauseconsulting.com, and that's pretty much it for me. So.
Cool. Well, we'll definitely have links to all that in the show notes. So if anybody needs use of those services, definitely contact Gordon. Awesome. Ron, what you got?
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, this coming weekend, as you're listening to this, Sunday, March the 8th, will be the second annual Fort Collins Comic Con, which goes under the title FOCO Comics and Gaming Festival. It's sponsored by Colorado State University, which has its home campus right here in Fort Collins, Colorado. And doors open at 10 o'clock in the morning, goes till 4. For the first time ever, Rob Davis is coming up and spending the weekend with us. And we're bringing Airship 27 to this Comic-Con. It's going to be a huge show, especially, like I said, having it right on campus. There's been a lot of promotion done in the general area, and some of the other guests include Zach Howard, Mike Barron, and a whole bunch of other creators from the general area. So if you're anywhere near northern Colorado or Wyoming over the weekend, the weather's going to be great. Please come on up to Fort Collins and join us at the FOCO Comics and Gaming Festival. I am going to give the links to the show to Brant to post, and you can see all the guests that are going to be here. Okay. Other than that, the other thing, we just recorded this past week the second episode of Airship 27, the podcast, wherein myself and my buddy Rob Davis sit down and talk about the new pulp movement and the stuff that we're doing in the movement and other writers and artists and what new pulp is all about. And we're really, really having a good time doing this show, so we hope you'll give it a listen. Brant says Wednesday, I believe the 11th, it should be posting, yes. So be on the lookout for it. And finally, from Airship 27 Productions, our latest book came out last week, and it is a really awesome vampire thriller novel called Shadow of Her Smile by Jack Beddoes. And it features a really stunning cover by an artist named Adam Shaw. That's available at Amazon, both hard copy and on Kindle. We hope you'll give it a look. And that's what's keeping me busy these days, guys.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. And just, to confirm, March 11th is when that will go live. I don't think there's a whole lot that I can talk about either right now. I kind of already said the old Derby City thing. Hopefully that works out. Let's see. All the Assailant books that I lettered are... I think you got proofs back today, and there will be 4 new books debuting at Gem City Comic Con next month. So that's pretty awesome. I think it's Binary Gray issues 9 and 10, Black of Heart issue 4, and Open Tree issue 2. all are debuting. So that's pretty exciting, especially for Chris Charlton. He's gonna have 4 new books to debut, so that's awesome. And beyond that, my time on New Comic Day is coming to a close. I haven't officially said this anywhere, but with strip number 300, that will be my last strip that I letter for that weekly comic strip. So I'm still going to be involved on the fringes. I might do some guest writing, guest drawing. I might pop up here and there. Eric and I have talked about it, but I've been doing the strip for over 5 years now, and I just felt like it was time to move on to other things. So so it's kind of another era coming to an end for me. I'm the last one of the original team on the strip, so definitely wish the best for the team going forward. They already have a new letterer in place to take over with issue or strip 301. So I think this week's was 298, so I got 2 more left.
So what is it with you in the number 300, Brant?
I don't know. That's crazy.
You do 300, then you're all done. Jeez.
That's it. That's all I can go. 300.
Brant, with
5 years.
Brant, with strip 300, are you working in a reference to this is Sparta?
That would be cool to do. It's funny. This strip actually is gonna go live. I think it's the week before my birthday or the week of my birthday or something. So there's a little nod to me in the strip. So it's kind of funny that's my send off. Yeah.
I think it's a little less "This is Sparta" and more of "I am over it."
Yeah. But it's cool. We could have a little Zone 4 tie-in, and we could illustrate the Zone 4 robot going down the pit like we were supposed to do in the episode. Oh shoot! But no, it's been a fun ride. I've loved the strip, and it's this fun, quirky thing, and but it's time. So there you go. 5.5 years close to it. That's long enough.
Yeah, indeed.
I guess 5 years is my limit. I don't know. And here yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, before we close out the show, I wanted everyone listening to know that Harrison Ford has been upgraded to fair.
Oh, good.
To fair to moderate condition. So,
good.
Like anything as small as a plane could take out Indy anyways.
Amen.
Yeah.
So, all of you send your prayers and kind thoughts. Okay, let's get this guy back on his feet.
Yeah, very, very glad to hear that.
Yep.
Real quick beyond that, I don't really think I have anything else substantial to talk about at this point, so we will just close it out with that. Who wants to read us out this week? Who did it last time?
Gordon.
I did.
Gordon. Okay, Ron, you want to read us out?
Definitely. All right. Hey, we'd like to thank the official bands of Zone 4, the Ray Wall Band, and Society's Plague that you hear on the show each episode. We're also proud members of the Comic Related Podcast Network. You can find us on comicrelated.com, Comic Frontline, Stitcher, iTunes, and of course, Zone4Podcast.com. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, or you just want to send us free money, send it to Zone4 at comicrelated.com. And as always, thanks for listening. You are now leaving Zone 4.
If you're sending via PayPal, email me for an alternate address.
Yeah, no.
And we do accept bacon as currency.
Yeah, absolutely.
But only cooked bacon.
That's it! Good night, all!
Bye, everybody.
This is only a test for the X-Men.
John's a little hoarse.
I'm a little horse. I'm a pony.
I wish Rhonda came on right when you said that.
Yeah, that would have been funny, wouldn't it?
That would be fun.
Hey, guys!
Be like, what are you talking about?
No, now say it, John. Repeat.
Yeah. I'm a pony.
Okay, we're off and at him today. I can see that right now.
Well, he when Gordon came on, Brant said they were asking how each other was, and Brant had said of me that I was a little horse. And then I said, I'm a pony.
Grown.
Because my voice is kind of gone, so,
Oh, shoot. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da.
Although I got to tell you, this whole thing about the con, I've been getting together with all my comic book pals here in Fort Collins, we're getting together for coffee and everything. The folks at Colorado State University that are putting on the show are, last minute things, running around like crazy, getting promotion done and all this for the last couple of weeks. And since it's going to be held on campus this year, we're really keeping our fingers crossed for a huge turnout, especially amongst the college community itself. So things have been, like really, really hectic and pretty much on the top of my mind and everybody else's, all my friends and whatever. So I get up this morning, right, and I get a cup of coffee and start heading for my office, and Val's doing something, and I go over and, like I do every morning, give her a kiss before I go in the office, and she goes, "Thanks, happy anniversary." And I just looked at her, and I had like made a vow like years ago. It's 32 years today that I was never going to be that husband. You know what I mean? Who forgets his anniversary, and it blindsided me totally. And she just laughed. She just totally laughed it off. And she goes, I know where your mind's been the last couple days, what with Rob coming up to visit and all that. She goes, that's cool. She goes, we'll celebrate next week after the con, after he's gone. I have the best wife in the world.
I was about to say, that's an understanding wife there.
Yeah, she's a saint, guys, let me tell you, all right? Oh.
So that explains your impassioned Facebook post then.
Yeah.
Save a little face.
You better believe it, okay? Ron's making up big time. Right? I will do something special next week. Count on it.
Awesome. Well, happy anniversary.
Thanks, guys.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, kind of hard to imagine the world without her. Believe me, I'm one of those lucky guys, and I think John knows what I'm talking about. We were best friends first.
Yeah.
And then said, hey, why don't we do this life thing together? And nothing but joy and a blessing ever since. So there you go.
Yep, us too. I'm hitting 25 this May.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Hey, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, which makes Brant and I the two most eligible bachelors in the Zone forecast.
That's right.
This is true, yeah.
We should mention that during the recording. Never mind the outtake.
Yeah.
My number is.
Except Brant lives in Texas, so that cuts down on his eligibility.
What?
Nobody wants to live in Texas.
Oh shoot!
Hey, be wary. I've seen some of them cowgirls who were popped up in Playboy.
Oh, that's true.
You forget the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are here too.
Yeah, well, they'll pick you up
and there are a couple of smaller. There's a couple of smaller towns that are really up and coming, that are starting to become like really cool urban areas. So don't knock Brant because he lives in Texas. At least it's not Kentucky.
This is true.
That is very true. Yeah.
Oh.
But I ain't looking for no one, so I don't have to worry about it.
Very true.
Amen, John.
Yeah. No, I told my wife a long time ago that anything happens to her,
harmless.
Yeah. No, I told my wife a long time ago, if anything happens with her, never doing the marriage thing again.
Oh my God.
That's it for
never,
you.
ever.
I hear you there too, buddy. Believe me. Oh yeah.
I'm sending this Stone for Robot out on a spree.
Didn't we kill him off when we hit 300?
I meant to keep a good robot down.
I meant to, and I totally forgot on the 300th episode.
Totally forgot to kill the robot.
Yeah, I was gonna kick him into the pit, and I totally forgot. Because the 300,
Actually,
he would have just clawed his way back up.
What's that,
Guys,
Gordon?
Brant, that's how you lead off this episode. I want to welcome everyone, and I just want to make it clear, I have kicked the robot into the pit.
There you go.
He just claws way back out.
Yeah, he probably would.
This is the Age of Ultron. Be careful of robots.
No, yeah.
Suddenly develop flight or something.
It'll be one of those shows. The outtakes are longer than the show.
Yeah, exactly. The show was 10 minutes, but the outtakes were 3 hours.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think I'm going back to old format. I've had some complaints, so
already.
As far as the opening,
okay.
Just the people miss the whole, and most importantly, remember thing, And they got confused by the way I was opening it with the outtakes first.
Yeah. Yeah, that would confuse me too. I didn't know you were doing that.
I kind of think that. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it for the first couple episodes because there was another podcast, Webcomics Weekly. They kind of do that. They just start a conversation and then just go right into the show from that. So I was trying that, but it was kind of broken because you guys didn't know I was doing that. So
yeah.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.